Soundstripe.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, men and women. Welcome to Lieutenant Commander J.R. Galpohkpa Chesson Talk Show. First of all, I want to take the time to apologize to my regular viewers who view me at 5:45 in the morning. This morning I couldn't come on because all these people carrying the prices up. I got up this morning, did all my notes and everything, then I got to come on. My picture came on, but my volume couldn't get on. Then I looked at, they told me I had to upgrade my system. I think it was $12.50 before every month. Now it's $20. So it's good to be here. Let's get into my lesson today. Since I've been late, I haven't paid attention to the news since 5:30 this morning, but I know currently the Senate or Congress is investigating the January 6, 2021 incident right now. So while they're on this, I don't think much has changed. So let me get into my lesson, okay? Number one, liar US Senator Ted Cruz, failed Texas leader, challenged by US Representative AOC of NYC. Two, how long shall Liberians survive violence, fears, etc.? Number three, file class action lawsuits against Ellen, her sons, and her sister, Jennie and husband, Estrada. Let me get into my lesson. So, we've seen since this incident occurred with the freezing of Texas, being in darkness and being without water. I don't know if the water situation has been resolved as of yet. But the last time I checked the news, people were still getting water at public places, in jugs and different things. So this is what's going on. Now, we're going back to all this incident with Ted Cruz and all these Texas people. He was on Fox or one of these stations last night, lying about everything again. Lying, they failed. They didn't take the necessary steps they needed to protect the state during extremely cold weathers. And although it hasn't gotten this cold in Texas since probably the 1800s, but still, climate is changing. Our lives are changing. You see, it's raining and snowing places it never used to snow, or earlier than ever before, or inconsistently. So we in a terrible swing. Terrible swing. So people in Texas shouldn't have anticipated this. As the report states, a bill was filed in the Texas Congress 3 or 4 years ago, outlining the fact that they had to upgrade the system and winterize it for extreme cold weathers, especially with the climatic changes. So they had that documented desk, they did nothing to it. And it wasn't only Ted Cruz that ran away from the cold, we hear one or two officials ran away too. But Ted Cruz is the only one who comes up lying all the time, acting like he's so perfect. And he's not perfect. He's not perfect. He's a loser. You know, and these people got to take heed and govern themselves. So here we are. All the things that are going on in the state, AOC, Ocasio, AOC of New York. What's Ocasio real name? I so used to call her Alexandra Osario, something, OAC. You forgive me. I so used to call her AOC. You know who I'm talking about, the secretary, the representative of New York City, AOC. So now AOC has, I think her last name is Cortez. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Yes. I mean, everybody gets so used to calling her AOC. Everywhere you read AOC, everybody knows that. But anyway, AOC has done a tremendous job for the people of Texas. Here is a representative in another state. She's raised $5 million so far for the people in Texas, for the people who need help, the poor and suffering people in Texas who need help. Because you know, people that Ted Cruz and things got a way to get away. The governor, all those people, probably had generators and things like that. So they were really impacted by the cold, like most of the poor people and other folks. And besides that, look at the economic toll this company is taking on the people of the state. And you see what's so bad about it? The light company deducts your money from your account. They deduct your money. So the only people who are saved, who don't have accounts and can't put the light bill on any account. So they will get a monthly light bill. But the people who have direct withdrawal, that's why people are suffering right now. Because the bank is going in there and taking thousands of dollars in light bills. Are they going to rectify that? Are these people going to be left with that big bill? Taking 10,000 to 16,000 other people's private accounts because of this debacle. This is terrible. So, yeah, we are again. People from outside got to come help us. If AOC hadn't done this, hadn't put in the effort to help people in Texas, how many more people would have died before the federal government came, before Texas started to thaw up? Now Texas is thawing. They're up in the 50, 60 degrees now. And these are the challenges that people outside that care for our country, real patriots who look at Texas and the debacle of these leaders and them trying to lie and deceive us into believing that they are not to blame, to put the blame on other people. You know, just how the Republicans do all the time. You know, flip-flop, shift the blame, jump over the wind. That's why they can't organize right now. They can't organize. And look at all these things that happened on January 6th. Officers incriminated, officers committing suicide, officers being killed. And this is why it is very significant that Congress does a thorough investigation of our different security and military forces. Because we can't have these people in our military and police. They got to be weeded out. We got to find a way to understand their conscious thinking. Maybe they need to do psychiatric evaluations again. But we can't have people who's supposed to be protecting us joining the enemies to kill us and overthrow our government. So this is where I am with my first lesson. But my children, we have to be conscious of the fact that this is our country. This is the home we love. We got to protect our homeland. We got to ensure that every American citizen has the pursuit of happiness, the right to life, liberty, and all these things we need to understand, because with us, we are poor, we are neglected, we are dejected. So it behooves us to understand that now is the time that our leadership must be conscious of the fact that you can't be alone in America. We can't be alone in Africa. There has to be an amalgamation, unification of our peoples here and in Africa. Because the plight of our people here are no different than the plight of our people in Africa, Liberia, and elsewhere. So it's time for us to take a conscious look at who we are and what we stand for, what we believe in, our moral convictions in our spiritual beliefs that strengthen us, both physically and spiritually. So this is the first lesson for today. Let me take a break and we go into my second lesson, because I just got to have my lesson for each day. I hope you appreciate it.
Soundstripe.
Oh, I forgot to add something to my first lesson. Donald Trump now has to turn over his taxes to the government. Oh, Lordy, Lordy. He fought all the way to the Supreme Court and got denied. What kind of man this? Every year, people auditing his account. Nobody know for what. And come to find out, the man is taxing. He's deducting everything he's doing. The women he's been sleeping with, who he had to pay off, he deducted it from his taxes. Can you imagine? Then we know he paid $700 something dollars for taxes a few years ago. But these are the corruption and the things that are killing us. And Donald Trump must be investigated and punished effectively in New York City and as President of the United States of America. Look at in New York City, all the criminal violations this man has committed. So we leave him to Jesus Christ. I told you, Jesus Christ will deal with the people no matter how they dodge the law or how they do the thing, because they can't continue to keep us in fear of racism, race supremacy, and hate. How long we'll do this thing? We can't do it forever. It's got to cease and exist now. So let me deal with my other African people in Africa. How long shall Liberians survive violence, fears, etc.? We have come to a crossroad in our society, a great, great crossroad, where we must take a realistic look at our society. Fannie Sam was supposed to be in the Senate. He's supposed to be the judiciary chairman of the Senate. I haven't heard of them removing him from that position yet. I have seen demands for him to be removed. So why aren't these people helping Darius Dillon understand the law, understand what he wants to do to succeed as a body, as the Liberian Senate? You know, he has some good ideas, but there are also some flaws in his ideas too. You know, but we have to understand he's learning. He's learning, and he doesn't know it all, although he thinks he does. He doesn't. Okay? In the first place, this case with Brownie Samaka, he says he's going to the court to plead to call the justice minister and all these people. I don't know how this case is going on now, but I think it was supposed to start today. So he was supposed to call all these people for yesterday or the day. I don't know whatever it was. But how will you say that the Solicitor General is wrong? I don't think he's wrong in this instance. And Keith Hassan on the Spoon TV show, our Liberian show here, Keith Hassan, one of the commentators on the show, said to Darius Dillon, Article 21, I think, J of the Constitution states that if you are guilty of a crime and you lose all your civil rights and your human rights, your constitutional rights and every kind of rights you have, at the conclusion of your punishment, all rights are supposed to be restored unto you. So this is the situation with Brownie Samokana. Darius Dillon is arguing that the Supreme Court stated that Brownie Samaka's sentence from the lower court of guilty is supposed to be upheld. So right there, he's a criminal. But instead of putting him in jail right away, the court extended his stay from prosecution by telling him, if you restore that money in 6 months, if you restore half of it in 6 months and the rest of it at the balance at the end of the year, your charges will be forgiven. You'll be released. So right now, he got 6 months. Right now, he's guilty. Despite the flaws of the Solicitor General before, according to how the law reads, nobody can tell the Solicitor General to seek to suspend the certificate of election from Brownie Samaka, because that's his duty. Nobody can tell him. The court doesn't have to say we gave the thing to the justice minister to do. No, the justice minister is aware of the court's decision. I mean, my only point of his position is that he's too arrogant, talking about he's the law and all that. Nobody's the law. The Constitution is the law. But the point about it, the law states that the man is still guilty. He's guilty as a criminal. They upheld the lower court judgment. So no matter how, whether he paid the money or not, he is still a criminal. He is still a criminal because he's been convicted in the lower court and the upper court upheld the charge. So he's a criminal under the law, and his term has been extended for 6 months up to a year to pay that money. Browning Samaka should not be allowed to receive his election certificate. He should not be. And if the election commission holds it, it would be right and constitutional. They are not denying him of his right to be senator. They are not doing anything unconstitutional to his rights. All he has to do is pay that money. Now, instead of Darius did them going and running all their yo in court, they could raise that money by today or tomorrow if they rather want Browning Samaka to assume the senatorship or representativeship of Lufa County. But right now, he's a criminal. And Keith Hassan was right. He's a criminal under the law. And the court does not have to order him. The court said, your political freedom will not be upheld. You got to understand what the court talking about. Right now, Browning Samaka has now won. His case is in court. He has political problems. And if the court did not give him the approval to go to court and process his political issues and try to resolve it so he can be able to practice, he will not be able to do it if he's a criminal. So the court gave him that political freedom to go fight his battle. You know, all the opposition and filing objection to his winning, he got to go deal with that. Those are his political freedom. So once he deal with that and he clears and that money is not paid, the government has a right to stop him from sitting. And that will in no way interfere with the senatorship or the representativeship of that county. Every county got senior and junior. So how will it impact the quorum of the legislature? How? Yes, we know there are election objections and cases all over the counties where Nima, I think, Lofa, I can't remember where else. So the Senate cannot have a quorum until all these cases are resolved and people are successfully certified to serve in the Senate. And that has nothing to do with Browning Samaka. Browning Samaka is a criminal. He shouldn't be even serving in the Senate. He's a criminal. How will you let a criminal come and serve in the government with you when that man is paying money back? This is the kind of constitutional laws that our people disobey and violate all the time. All the time. This is crazy. We want to complain and want justice and equality and equal treatment and everything. But then when it comes to implementing our laws and your relatives and friends and tribal people get caught up in it, then y'all want us to overturn justice and the rule of law to please y'all? Those things don't happen like that. It don't happen like that. So I side with the Solicitor General. I side with him. And he should use every effort he can to have the election commissioner hold that certificate. The government is not denying him his right to sit as a senator, but as long as he doesn't pay the money he has stolen, the money he has misappropriated, he's a criminal. And he's not supposed to have the freedom to sit in our legislature. That has nothing to do with politics. The freedom of his politics. It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with him fulfilling the obligations of the court. He got 6 months or 1 year or 1 day or 2 days. Let the Lofa people get up and raise the money. Y'all want him to be free, raise the money and free him in 1 day. How you will come and put your burden on the Liberian people for a criminal? For a lawless man. That man will always be a criminal. And how will it change our society? So that's one of the issues with the Liberian issue. Okay? All of this violence and all of this emanates from the debacle of our leaders, the failures of our leaders to know the law and appreciate the law and have somebody in the Senate or House who's an ombudsman. You know, we need people to review things that the Senate arguing and bring legal and constitutional thinking to it. So I don't know what Vani Sherman is doing in there. We hardly see him do anything on TV. But these are the people who know, instead of teaching our people, Darius Dillon has to come and initiate efforts to change our society. And they're still there. They're not guiding him. They're jealous or something. And they know they got to argue this point about Brownie Samaka, about our police. All these people are corrupt, guilty people. Now we hear they're retiring almost 300 people from the police to bring George Weah killers in from somewhere in Africa. And they're Liberians. But they have been out of Liberia for years. And now George, we are going to bring them back. All of these warlords, the former warriors, all these people, they're bringing them back and putting them in the police. For what? To push George Weah's agenda? To stay in power beyond his term? So it's a bad life we living in, man. Our people are scared. And to tell you the truth, I heard Prophet Key show today, and you see how he interacted intelligently. Nobody telling him to go back and apologize to the criminals. You know, if the people are criminals, deal with them. All of that is in the past. I've always told him, I said, Prophet Key, you smart. You smarter than most of these people here. Look how he made and Witherspoon and those guys shame. And he boasting about it. He said he shut them up. They couldn't do nothing. They were there thinking, he will finish. He said he didn't waste time with the question. And this man is a man who hasn't gone to college. And all those college law and educated people, doctor, and all of that, couldn't challenge this boy, Prophet Key. So you see, Prophet Key is indeed a leader. He's a strong community leader. And the only way people can do and punish this guy and things like that, if he's not conscious of who he is to our society, to our communities. He is an asset. Because I listen to Prophet Key. Yes, he's not the best Englishman and all of that, but he can express his ideas. He can express the ideas. The same thing with Francis Doe. All the guys are not geniuses, but they know how to express themselves. They know how to get the message across in their own way. My only concern with Prophet Key is that you want to insult the president, insult the president. You want to insult the official government, insult them. But don't go after their mom and sisters and all of that. No. Because if you all ever live in 1980, that how many of us survived? Because people didn't want to go after us. Some people wanted to go after us and kill us. And there were other people that said, no, these people are not guilty. Their fathers did it. You charge their father, but not charge them. Why you think I survived? I survived because our people are not killers. Our people understand that, especially our Christian people. You see, this is where Christianity comes in. And when I talk about it, our people don't want to listen. But this is where Christianity comes in. You all heard your Sunday prayer, and many of these advocates who are indigenous, and they say that they themselves need to change. They need to change. The violence is too much in the tribal arena. She was telling us how when they had a meeting with Doe, and Doe explained to them, he called a tribal meeting with all the chiefs and things. And he was telling them that somebody was Western or all these guys were causing trouble. What they told him? Kill them. Kill them. Is that Christian principle? These are the things going on still with our indigenous society. Their laws and rules of governance are different from Jesus Christ's. And that's why Jesus Christ laid the foundation for us. And we survive on those principles for over 150, 60 years. So what's the problem with us? What's the problem with our Christians? Everybody in Liberia is an enemy. There are no real Christians in Liberia. There are very few. Because all our leaders are pastors and preachers and deceitful criminals. And nobody doing nothing about it. But this is the plight of our people right now. And everybody think to everything to them is hatred, is mean, is this, is Congo country. I don't care. I got to lay the foundation for the future. I got to let people know that there were cognizant people in our community. Cognizant people who did not only fight about race and all of that, we fought about justice too. We fought about justice, human rights, dignity, pride. And there's no way we can still be suffering today and people don't want to talk about the racial issues in our country. People still want to hide under the tribal issues of our country. We got serious issues in both America and the Republic of Liberia, both countries. These are my countries. So what is the problem with us? What is the issues? What are the issues we're facing? Okay? Now, is George Weah a real killer? Is George Weah the one who got the missing children? Is George Weah and his administration the people who go around raping these children with impunity, or their relatives, and they're trying to cover it up and say it didn't happen or something? So, what's up with all this? We need serious investigations, serious oversight by the legislature. But our people are all tribal. They're not divided legislature into tribe. You know, tribal alliance and all these things. And these are the things that are killing our country. You know, it's killing our country. Certain people still don't understand what democracy is, what it means, and how it can free us and make us strong and grow. But we got to check and balance. This is the same thing happening in America now. All these white rich guys have stolen. Now we got to read them in. People that Donald Trump, look at the man, has never released his taxes for years. Now he's paying only $700, deducting all his girlfriend and love relations fee from his taxes. This is criminal. And he is not the only one that's doing it. There are plenty doing it. There are plenty. We don't know how to access some of that money. We don't know. And people don't want to hear the truth. My Liberian people don't want to hear the truth either. But the truth shall set you free. The truth shall open doors unto you. That you will see the realities of our lives need to change. The realities of our mentalities need to change. The realities of our unpatriotic behaviors and attitudes and convictions need to cease and desist. The time of the Liberian people is now. So, what else do I have on this thing here? Oh, George Weah's park. Man, this guy, he's a crazy guy. Right near the airport, he won't go build a park with volleyball court, basketball court, and everything. And those planes landing and taking off from that airport. How you go do that? That's an aviation risk for true. Some of those planes can crash on income or going out. And you have this park under there with people, children playing football and basketball and all these things. It's a risk, Mr. Dummy. So the aviation authority has notified George Weah that it's against aviation law. It's against safety for lives and property. So, these people here, they don't know any better. But these are the challenges we have to face time and time again. I know that fee he's talking about, and I play on that fee. That's where our basketball players play one of the soccer team from. Who played that? That was a big soccer team. That was Barman second division team or something like that. We drew it up, and I was a goalkeeper on that field. I know where that luck came from that day, man. Look, I was going to school on me. So, yeah, we are. Instead of being conscious, why would democracy cause such party alliances that people will hate each other? That people will say, I will not be friendly with you because you're CDC and I this and this. And CDC don't want to see any other person with other parties. This is tribalism. This is the same tribalism we're talking about, where tribes form tribes. And now the party of the president is a tribal cult. All these people in it don't even know why they're in it. But they tell them, don't hang with other people. And they believe it. And the same thing in America here with the Republicans and Democrats. That what me, I can't get involved with politics. It's asinine. It's crazy. And people don't realize these things. So yeah, we go time and time again with the challenges we have to face. Okay. So far I talk about everything. Now, that's the idea, the problem with symbiosis. Symbiosis. What is this killer doing running around? He's a security risk. And George Weah, don't you know that? Children are missing. And you're spraying the people keep going there protesting, you're spraying them and beating them. But you're creating a situation of national security risk for our people. 3 people are missing. There's no proper investigation concluded yet. So how long will it take for us to get a police report on this incident, detailing what actually happened. Then again, they say, oh, the police should do this, the police should do that. How the police will do that, there is no logistics. There is no logistics. No police cars. Not the people who are victims gotta pay the police way to take them there. What kind of country is this? That's because of the stealing. And we say this is good governance. Okay. So that's one of the things one of the problems we had. The other problem is Darius Dillon was talking about the time frame between when complaints are taken to when situation are concluded with the legislature and the message is passed on to the people. So all these things here create a lag time. There are certain time frame in the Constitution that resolutions of things have to be met. The Supreme Court or the legislature have to decide issue, and the commission has to take care of that. The oversight body of the commission is the legislature. So why are they making the laws? Why are they doing what they need to do to protect our country and society? Why are all these criminals who have killed our people? We just coming out of war. We just been dead from Ebola. Now we're coming to this same fear and violence in our lives since 1980 to today. How we survive, man? How our country will ever grow? Then you'll say development. What kind of development? You got your cousins and relatives in our positions that are essential to good governance. So where have we failed? Time and time and time and time again. These are the problems. So now, Darius, they're not talking about lag time. If there's lag time in the action of the legislature and the courts satisfying provisions of the Constitution, we have to look to precedents. What did the last administration do? And nobody complained. And secondly, we have some serious problems in Liberia. We had logistics problem. We have illiterate problem in our legislature. We got tribal problems. We got all these problems. So how are we going to deal with them? We can't deal with them now. So our future is dim. Our future is dark until we can find the right leadership to raise us out of this nightmare, out of this you put utopia or something like that. I forgot how the word. This is crazy. This is totally crazy. And my children, the time of the people is now. Understand and appreciate where we stand and where we need to go.
That's right.
Well, we're back. Let me put up my last topic. My last topic is I want people who have been hurt since our war, since we know Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf was involved in it, since we know that Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf in 1980 killed our fathers by her participation in the opposition to Turnbull, who incited the military to change Liberia in a revolutionary fashion. So they kill our people. Among the charges was nepotism. So this is where Liberia lies today. After almost 30 years, the woman come back and take over our country as president. After displacing our country, disbanding Charles Taylor Group to fight him. That's why we got Ulimo A, Ulimo I, Ulimo J. Those are all Ellen Johnson people that she made break away and form their own groups to attack Charles Taylor. So whoever won him was successful. So Prince Johnson forces won. Prince Johnson has eaten people. They have killed people. Prince Johnson killed so many thousands of Liberians, and yet he's a senator. So right now, you hear all our people talking about the trip the president is making now around the county. He took $900,000, almost $1 million for that trip. So what do you think they're doing? Just enjoying and having fun. They're just enjoying and having fun. Because you take $1 million for county trip. This is insanity for our country, my people. And if you're doing that, because we have no roads, the passages for our people up country to the southeastern region, it's terrible. It's terrible. I haven't even, I've never driven up that side. I've never driven, oh yes, I've been as far as Basel. But after Basel, those other counties, I've never seen them. Because the roads have always been treacherous. And this is the plight Ellen Johnson brought to us when she put her children in our government. After killing our fathers and leaders and charging them with nepotism, with rampant corruption, then she takes her children and puts them in our government. And not only in our government, in key positions, positions of our leadership. The three most significant positions: Minister of Finance, Chairman of the bank, the Liberian Central Bank, then Chief of National Security. This woman robbed us, but you better become conscious. So from 1980 to today, Ellen Johnson has killed so many Liberian people. Her hands are in the deaths of nearly 200,000 Liberian people because of her wayward leadership, her wickedness, her desire to be the first woman of everything in Africa. Those people do the thing from childhood dreams. Then when they have the opportunity, they use it. They use it. And that's what she did to us. We made her the first president, and she ripped us off. But that's why we got to set example of her. Just to the people in America, setting example of Donald Trump. Our presidents can't do that to us. Since the law and George Weah will not charge them criminally because George Weah is supporting her. George Weah has been bought by the old regime. All the fuss we got today emanating from Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf regime today. Today, all of these problems coming from her. If she was scared of George Weah, she should have let George Weah run by herself. But you can't help facilitate a dummy to the presidency of Liberia. You can't do that. And this is where our pride and dignity gets lost all the time, because our leaders are evil and treacherous. And they need to be charged. But this is our plight. This is our destiny until we can rise and change it. And since we can't get Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf in court for criminal charges because of George Weah supporting her corruption or evil against us, we got to take it in our hands to punish this woman ourselves. And by class action suits in every county of everybody who have lost people during the war, you'll get together and file a civil suit against Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf for negligence and wrongful deaths. And when you file it, the court got to look at it. The court will consolidate all these similar issues into one and have one big case. And we'll see what the court will say. We'll see what they will do with Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf. We'll see what they will say about this wicked woman. So I got to end on Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf. My hour is almost up. I told you time and again that we are the masters. We are the captains of our own destiny. The time of the Liberian people is now. Aluta! Continua. Have a good day.
Sounds driving.